Hi friends, I'm going to show you today how to make my famous Asian slaw. You can really make it any season of the year and just top it with a seasonal topper, as I call it. But what's first we're going to do is make my famous Asian Pizzazz. It's a rice wine vinaigrette, but it's really easy to make, and if that's all you wanted to do, you could make the vinaigrette and then buy yourself bagged slaw or bagged lettuce and take it from there. So let's do that first. I call it Asian because so many of the Asian cuisines have all 5 flavors going on. You know, when you get some Thai food, you taste sweet and sour and spicy and salty. You know, you're getting all in the little umami. You're getting all of those great flavors. You know, American Pizzazz is what we call ranch dressing or ketchup, right? It's like salty and sweet. It's really missing nuance. So I call it Asian Pizzazz. So we're going to use rice vinegar. I use natural or unseasoned rice vinegar. You want to make sure there's no added sugar or salt. And it's about 1/4 cup or so. And you can check the recipe for the exact. Then anytime you're making a vinaigrette, you're going to do your vinegar and then add your seasoning. Everything else except for, then the oil will be last, okay? So there's the vinegar. I'm going to add some salt. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 10 grinds of sea salt is about a 1/2 teaspoon. 10 grams of cracked black pepper. I'm going to add a little sweet with stevia. You of course could use honey if you'd rather, or a pinch of real sugar, raw sugar. Stevia is in a dropper bottle, so always be careful. I'm going to do 6 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we need some heat. I'm going to use sriracha. You could use your favorite hot sauce. They have house brands of sriracha now at Mother's Market and Trader Joe's. It's about a teaspoon or so. I'm not going to do it by feel. And you can add more or less, right, depending on your taste. If you're really sensitive, you don't need to do the heat. And then you mix all of these things in before you add your oil. The salt and pepper dissolve much more easily in vinegar than they do in oil. So you want to just whisk all your ingredients. It's your general rule of thumb for making any kind of salad dressing or marinade. So you get those in, and then we're going to add our sesame oil. So it's about equal parts, which is pretty nice. Rice vinegar has a little bit less acidity, or a lot less acidity than apple cider vinegar or red wine vinegar. So you do a 1-to-1 ratio rather than 1-to-2 in some of other traditional vinaigrette recipes. So, and there we have it. So this is your Asian Pizzazz. Now you can use a combo of sesame oil and olive oil, or either one, or all of one. I'm doing all sesame because I really wanted to get those the nice rich nutty flavor for my slaw, but you choose what you want. And then you can keep this in the fridge for weeks at a time. You can mix it in tuna and some butterleaf lettuce, keep it simple. You can use it to marinate chicken. It's great. It's so versatile. I did it on a quinoa pilaf salad the other day. I did brown rice with like sugar snap peas and some grated carrots, and made a little rice salad with the Asian Pizzazz. It works on so many things. So you could always just use that on your bagged slaw. But now I'm going to show you how to make my simple slaw. So first of all, we're going to grate carrots. Now a lot of recipes call for chopping carrots, but chopping carrots takes a lot of work. You of course could cheat and buy carrots that were already grated for you. I'm going to use a box grater, formerly known as a cheese grater. Right, I use this to do a lot of produce. You can use it to grate apples to put in your oatmeal, and you can use it to, like I said, grate your carrots. We're going to do, for this recipe, I would do like 3 really big carrots. Cut off your tips, and then put your box grater in a bowl so you have some stability, and you want the big side. And you're just going to grate. Mind your nails if you have a really long nail, so always be very careful with your box grater. Oops. And you just want nice long, instead of going back and forth, right, you just go one direction, so you're going to get some nice long strands. And this is way faster than trying to chop fine matchstick carrots. And that's enough. I don't want to take out my thumb, right? So I'm going to go one more. This is also a great tool to use for like grate some carrots and zucchini And then you can make a little egg scramble, or like I said, mix into a rice dish and make a little pilaf. It's a really nice shortcut. Okay, you got the idea, right? I'll save the rest for later. Then you need half an onion. Well, let's get the box grater out here. Look how pretty! Beautiful orange carrots. By the way, I didn't peel them. They're organic carrots, so I just scrubbed them with my vegetable brush. No need to peel your carrots if they're organic. So we're done with that. And now I have my big fat red onion. So the thing with your onion, right, you gotta peel it. And I find it's easier to cut it first and then peel it. So I'm gonna cut off the tip, or the top. So you get that part off, and then here's your root. And I used to teach live cooking classes, and it was really amazing to me how many people do not know how to chop an onion. So, and even the way my mom chopped an onion as a kid was just crazy to me. So you got those two tops off, right? Now you just cut it straight down the top. You have it's stable, right? It's not rolling around anymore. Now you just cut it straight in half. And then you have your half. Just peel this outside. Peel the whole outside layer off. And there you have your peeled onion. And I do like, I cut it in half. Let's get rid of this paper here. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it in half. And then I'm gonna cut it very thin, crosswise. So we're getting like half strips. And that way they're gonna flavor the slaw. They're big enough to pick out if people don't like them, but they're also small enough little slivers, right, to add a lot of flavor. You could use sweet onion if you'd rather, or white onion, but I love the color of the red onions. I love that purple color. Notice how I'm using my fingers are tucked in here. I'm using my nails to kind of anchor this last piece. And for the sake of television, right, we're good with that. So I'm gonna stop with half. If I were doing the whole recipe, I would do the whole onion, but just for the sake of time, I'm doing half portions for you. So here you have your beautiful onions and carrots. And now our cabbage. So you could use a red cabbage, you could use a regular round cabbage, or you can use this beautiful Napa cabbage. And just take your outer leaves off, because they, you know, sometimes are a little rough around the edges. That looks pretty good. And let me just clear a little more space here. All right. And then for this one, you just want to cut the bottom off. I'm gonna stand it up now, it's pretty stable, and cut it straight in half down the top. Because you always wanna create a flat surface before you really get into chopping. That way you have control of your produce. See how it's cut in half? I'm just gonna flip it over. Normally what I would do is have the bowl in the sink and this on the edge and just go straight in. Maybe I should do that. Let's try that, my camera. So, this makes life a lot easier. I'm left-handed, so I have the board on the right side, and I'm literally gonna chop and drop. So I have my flat cabbage, right? Now I'm gonna go one more. And then I'm cutting strips down the top. Can you see? And this way they're gonna go straight into the bowl. This is saves a little time and mess, right? Because if it scatters, it goes somewhere you could easily get rid of it. Easy cleanup. And as you're getting to the end, be careful of your thumbnail there. And straighten the bowl. Okay, and this does make a ton. I mean, already, this is just half, right? Half a cabbage, half an onion, half carrots. But it makes a ton and it lasts for a long time, which is so great about it. So we have our pizzazz. Give that a little whirl. Get that in there. And then I have my cool little salad hands. I like to call them the hands of God. I have actually used my bare hands to do this too, if you're only serving your own family. So toss this around, and this is your base, right? At this point, this is pretty generic. So if I were doing this in the summertime, I might finish it by adding some fresh corn, cut off the cob, and some sliced cherry tomatoes and fresh basil. If I'm doing it in the winter time, I would add black sesame seeds, just to kick it up a little bit. But it is springtime here, so my spring variation, I'm going to use some sugar snap peas and some fresh herbs. Now, this needs to sit a little bit before, I mean, it tastes good now, but it tastes way better if it sits overnight. And you can leave it in the fridge for a week. Unlike a salad that you make that kind of gets wilty, right? This actually, the dressing marinates the cabbage, so it gets better over time. So you could leave that and then add your topper. I'm gonna use some cilantro because that is a really nice spring cleanser. And with your cilantro, I just hold the stems, right? And I'm gonna cut the green leafy part off. And I'll just do about half of it for now. Stick that back in here. I do normally keep the cilantro in the refrigerator, but it looks so pretty and handy in a glass like that. So there's my cilantro. See how beautiful? We're getting all the colors of the rainbow. Get that in there. And then your sugar snap peas. I have organic ones here, and I guess I could have rinsed them, but I'm really not that anal. And so then I'm just gonna cut these on the diagonal. I'm gonna do this so you can see a little bit better. So these, you just get a little stack and cut them like maybe a half an inch, not a half an inch, a quarter inch little slices. And this is gonna add a really nice, bright, sweet crunch to the slaw. And some more greenery. And, you know, that's pretty much it. You can add a half a bag of these. You could use some defrosted frozen peas, which tend to be nice and sweet. So, you know, you choose. You could do basil instead. You could do parsley instead. But choose something that's in season so that your slaw tastes of what nature is providing. Right, spring is the season for cleansing, so why not grab some of these fresh legumes that help to clean up our congestion in our digestive system. The cilantro and the parsley and the fresh herbs are helping to detox your liver, and then you get this beautiful, crunchy, full flavor slaw that makes a ton, right? This is a half of it. It makes a ton, packs really well to take to parties and barbecues, and holds its crunch for like a week in the fridge. So I hope that you'll make, at a minimum, your Asian Pizzazz dressing, and hopefully your Asian Spring Slaw. Thanks for taking your time to learn to cook and invest in your own health.